We don't really learn lessons unless they're learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I believe that unless a lesson has taught the hard way, you're not going to learn it. You can have so many near misses and people won't learn their lesson. So you need that pain for the lesson to sting enough to really genuinely go inside of your mind. And it's the same with everything. It's the same with driving a car or business, you know, and don't be done with it. So you need to go through some pain. You need to experience some negative things. You need to have to a degree, some trauma to really even learn any lessons. So yeah, business studies, you're right. The book, that's not going to teach you anything about business. You need to get out there on the streets. You need to make mistakes. You need to suffer. You need to have the tax man knocking at your door. You got to deal with all that stuff so that you make sure it doesn't happen again. I really think that humans are stupid enough to only learn the hard way. The saying, if you know what you have, you ain't got much, that is completely true.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue how much money I have. When I was broke, I knew exactly how much money I had. I had 117 pounds in the NatWest, and that was it. I'm poor, rent's paid, I ain't got nothing else. When I was broke, I knew exactly how much I had, but now I'm at a point where it gets really difficult to truly measure how much money I have, because you have cash, okay, that's easy. I have some crypto, which is constantly fluctuating, and then you have assets, and the price of the assets is constantly fluctuating. And then I have companies and income streams, which need to be valued, and how do you value them, right? They can be an 8 times multiplier in some circumstances, and others they'll be a 10 times multiplier.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult for me to put a value on it. If you were to say to me, how much money do I have in the bank? But then even then, so I've got to be careful what I say on the podcast. But even then, once you have a healthy respect for money, once you get past a certain amount of money, you don't need it in the bank. Like there's no point in me having 50M liquid in the bank. Why? Well, then what am I going to buy? You know, you're like, as long as you have whatever you have in the bank to run around the world with, you have enough. So you try and put that money to use, right? You buy assets, XYZ. So it's really difficult.
Let me give you 7 key points to the law of sowing and reaping. Number 1, the law of sowing and reaping is negative, which simply means if you sow bad, you reap bad. If you plant thistle seeds, you don't get pumpkins. John says, how come no pumpkins? Come on, John. Now here's number 2. The law is positive. If you plant pumpkin seeds, you don't get thistles. Mother Nature won't pull tricks on you over in the corner snickering and pushing new thistles and you planting pumpkin seeds. She won't do that. Now here's number 3. See, you do not reap what you sow, but rather you always reap much more than what you sow. You don't get back what you put out. You get back much more. On the negative side, it said, if you sow to the wind, you reap the whirlwind. There's one thing better than the truth, and that's the whole truth. And here's part of the whole truth of the law of sowing and reaping. You could lose. There are times when you just lose, no matter what you do. It's that kind of planet. The farmer plants his crop in the spring, takes care of it all summer, works 10, 12 hours a day, is an honorable man. But the day before he sends the combines into the field, a hailstorm comes along and beats it all in the ground, which means you lose. It's just that kind of planet. Sometimes it's going to hail on your crop, so you got to get ready for that or you will be naive. And don't press me why. I was not in on some of the original decisions here, so I don't know how it got set up. But now here's number 7. And it goes like this. It's just another way to quote the same law. If you don't sow, what? You don't reap. You don't even have a chance. Get you some sowing going. And remember, you've got plenty of time. Some people spend enough TV time to make a fortune. Well, the average television is on in this country in every household 7 hours a day. I asked a guy one time what his TV cost. He said about $450. I said, you forgot to look at the price tag. I said, that television costs you, in my opinion, at least $12,000 a year. Owning it's cheap. Watching it is what's expensive. Pay a little, but not $12,000. And he's the guy that said, I hope pay TV never comes. And here's a good question to ask. We are all buying somebody's plan. The question is, whose? Who's got you talked into your present plan? Who's got you talked into doing what you're doing? See, 10 years from now, you will surely arrive. The question is, where? But now's the time to fix the next 10 years. And who can? Anybody. It's not what happens that determines the major part of your future. The key is what you do about it. We cannot change the circumstances. We can change ourselves. If you will change, everything will change for you. Work hard on yourself and develop a skill. I'm telling you, your whole life can explode into change. Money, no problem. Future, no problem. Just go to work on the right thing. And start working on the inside. Work on your philosophy. Work on your attitude. And if you'll start making those personal changes, I'm telling you, everything will change for you.
And look at history. Why did Genghis Khan wake up and want to conquer the whole world? Why did Napoleon conquer the world? Why did Alexander the Great conquer the world? You just wake up and just say, give me this, give me that. I want all of it. Yeah. There's an army there. They're really big. We're better. It's intrinsic. You need to go and conquer. That's the purpose of life. I think we're here to struggle and to learn. I don't think we're here to be happy. That's why when we keep going back to the happy argument, I've always found that kind of frustrating and annoying. Yeah. When someone goes, oh, but I want to be happy. Why? Why? Why do you want to sit there and laugh? Like you were happy your entire childhood. That's your happy days. You're allowed to be happy as a kid. It's all over now, right? You're a man. You have responsibilities. I think we're here to do important things, and important things are going to be difficult, and they're going to be hard, and you're going to get frustrated. But that's what gives you purpose. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to endure pain. Yeah. I think we're here to just see how hard we are to kill. I think that going through terrible things and living through them and coming out the other side is one of the most fantastic things about being human. I think that it's almost like once you understand what life is really about, there's no emotion which isn't enjoyable. I don't believe in the societal paradigms in which they have tried to construct this idea of happiness. I don't believe or subscribe to the way that happy and sad is currently understood by the masses of the population. I think if you are anything less than absolutely distraught, you are happy. You're a version of happy. It's like saying gray is a version of black, right? No matter how light the gray is, you can still call it a version of black. And unless you've gone through an event, which hopefully doesn't happen too often, like the passing of a family member or something that's truly destructive and detrimental to your mindset. And this idea of chasing happiness and always being concerned and preoccupied with how happy you are is actually the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, I think, in the world today, especially men who wake up and go, oh, I don't really feel happy, so I need to get happier. And that's how they end up down a hedonistic path of drugs or alcohol or gambling, chasing pleasure. I don't care how I feel. Yeah. I don't care if I feel happy or sad. It doesn't really affect what I do each day. I do the exact same things. I act the exact same way. I don't care. I don't put weight to the significance of the emotion. So I always consider myself a happy person, but if I woke up and I was slightly less happy one day than another, it wouldn't affect anything I do and I wouldn't put any relevance to it. Yeah. I'm human and that's life. So yeah, am I any happier now that I have hundreds of millions of dollars than before I was broke? Not really, but I was never unhappy. I'm the same state that I was then, that I am now. I have work to do and I will do it.
You're tired. You don't want to work. You want to go to sleep and just relax. You do it anyway.
That is the most basic imperative of the masculine frame, which has been destroyed in real time. They are trying to convince you that you should act how you feel. You should show more of your feelings. If you feel this way, you should show it. If you want to cry, cry. If you truly want to win, you can't only want to win when you're happy, and you can't only want to win when you're motivated. You're competing against men like me who will perform even when it's raining, not only when the sun is shining. And if you're going to be the kind of person who can only do it in one of those scenarios, you are going to lose. You must be prepared to perform all of the time. I have a lot of people who message me and say, oh, I struggle with motivation. And my answer is simple. Then stay a loser. If you can't find the motivation to not be a loser, then I strongly recommend you just stay a loser, stay in your lane, stay out of my way. I have no time for people who cannot find the motivation to fix themselves and fix their own lives. Like if I feel sad, it does not change how I act, and it does not change the things I do. If I don't feel like going to the gym, I go to the gym. If I don't feel like working, I will still work. If I wake up in a happy mood and I have a business to run, if I wake up in a sad mood, I have the same shit to do. I'm going to get it done. So where's the importance of it? It's in my mind, that's how I view it. Like, how does that affect what I'm going to do? Well, nothing. What I'm saying is the reason they're trying to bring out emotionality in you is because of exactly what Myron said. Most of the time, you don't feel like doing the things you're supposed to do. But the true masculine frame throughout history was doing the things they didn't want to do, but they knew they had to do because they had honor and duty. That's what honor and duty means. Do you think the men on the Titanic wanted to stay on the fucking Titanic? No. We're men. We have to stay. We're scared, but we must. It's our duty to let the women and children on the lifeboats. This is masculine duty.